It's no secret that I'm crazy about Chinese food. It's at the core of my heritage, my career, and a source of so many of my happy memories. But for people who haven't grown up with it like me, it can be confusing. There's so much variety, so many regional styles, so much tradition. In this series, I'm going to break down some of the basics to give you a Chinese food crash course. From hot pot to dim sum, barbecues to banquets, it's time to make Chinese food simple. Dim sum is one of my favorite things in the world. Its literal translation means to touch the heart, which is perfect because for most people, it's love at first bite. Dim sum started out as snack food in the tea houses in Canton, China. People would order little dishes to have with their tea, so the other name for dim sum is yum cha, which means drink tea. From there, it grew into a full meal eaten for breakfast or lunch. A mishmash of gorgeous steamed buns, dumplings, rice rolls, all served with copious amounts of hot jasmine tea. The sheer variety of dishes can be overwhelming for a newbie, so I'm going to demystify dim sum. I'm going to teach you what to order when you go out to eat and even share with you a simple recipe you can make at home. I'm heading to Royal China in Baker Street, a well-known dim sum hotspot in London. Their chefs make all their dishes from scratch, a highly prized skill which takes years to master. They have a huge menu which includes all the classic must-have dishes. Time to get ordering. Okay, so I've got the absolute classic here. We've got some siumai and some hagao. Now, siumai is a pork and prawn dumpling wrapped in a wonton egg wrapper, and it's open like a flower, and this one's decorated with a little bit of carrot on top. And with the hagao, it's a steamed prawn dumpling. So in Cantonese, ha is the word for prawns, and you can see beautiful pinkiness of the prawns coming through this translucent wheat starch wrapper. And we're gonna dig in. Beautiful. Look at that beautiful color. Lovely shine, really plump. With siumai, the absolute favorite to go with this is a sweet soy sauce. That is so delicious. The texture of that pork has got a really nice bite to it. I've got some delicious sweet prawns. It is so good. Next, I'm gonna go in for the prawn dumpling, and with the hagao, it's a classic to have it with chu chow chili oil. So a nice kind of spicy kick to add to the sweetness of the prawns. The prawns are juicy. I get the sweetness of the bamboo, and then I get that lovely kick of the chu chow chili oil. That is superb. So it's char siu time. Now, char siu in Cantonese is fork roasted. Big pieces of pork would be roasted on an open fire until it's nice and sticky and delicious. Now, char siu is basically Chinese barbecue pork, and char siu can be found in two of my favorite ways in dim sum, which is char siu bao, and bao means bun, and char siu so. So is the word to describe the flaky puff. I've got the flaky puff. It's lovely and golden. It's got a little stickiness and shine from honey and some white sesame seeds. That is super delicious. It's buttery, it's flaky, it's a little sweet from the honey on top. I can taste the nuttiness of the sesame seeds, and then the beautiful sticky char siu inside. Next, the char siu bao. Look at that, beautiful peaked edges. There's a little paper at the bottom, you just need to take that off. And then I'm just gonna pry this open so you can see beautiful, steaming, glistening char siu pieces in there. I'm in heaven. The dough is so soft and fluffy, it just melts in the mouth. And then you've got the chewiness, the pieces of char siu that's got a lovely bite, and then wrapped in a sticky char siu sauce. Again, another two must-haves if you go to a dim sum restaurant. So more dim sums arrived, so let's get cracking. So this one is called ham shui gok, and it's made of glutinous rice flour. Now I want to show you on the inside, look at it, it's nice and crisp and golden. And when you pry it apart like that, you've got there some chives, you've got some mushrooms, you've got some mixed pork, just finely chopped pieces. This is an incredibly sweet and salty dumpling, which is one of my favorites. So good. So fresh. Next, we've got taro puff. Now, it is super crispy. Look at that incredible skin. It's deep fried to give this really golden crispness. And inside, I'm gonna break it open. There's a delicious meaty mushroom filling. And that's pork and shiitake mushrooms, and it's so good. So delicious, really soft and really crispy and flaky. It's going everywhere, but it's so good. Next, I've got here some turnip cake, but it's not really a cake. It's more a savory pan-fried dim sum dish. It's got this really special texture. It's kind of soft, but with a bite. And the bite comes from the grated radish and then the different texture of the char siu and the dried shrimp to give you that meatiness in there. Super fragrant. It's delicious on its own, but it also works really well with some Chu-Chow chili oil and also some XO sauce. Dunk a little bit. So with that Chu-Chow chili oil, it's really fiery, a real kick. And I love to use a little bit of this XO sauce and just put it on top. Now, XO sauce is a really luxurious sauce, and it's got dried shrimp, it's got dried scallops, it's got a hint of spice. Delicious. So next, when you go to a dim sum restaurant, you've got to order chong fan, or in Mandarin, tang fin, and it's a flat rice noodle that have been steamed with lots of different fillings. And restaurants would serve it with their own sweet soy sauce. It's silky, it's soft, and then you've got the texture of the prawns and the mixed meat. Pure noodle heaven. And really, after each bite or each dish, just wash it down with copious amounts of jasmine tea, which is my favorite. And it just allows you to go back for more. And for the finale, some egg custard tarts, or dan tang in Cantonese. Look at these beautiful, glistening golden layers of flaky pastry. My goodness. Tea and snacks. I mean, it really is the best. So there it is, those are my favorite dishes, and now you know what to order next time you go for dim sum. So that's eating out sorted, but I haven't forgotten about you home cooks out there. I'm going to show you a super simple dim sum recipe that will wow your friends and family. I want to show you how to make my pork prawn bamboo shoot siu mai. It's absolutely delicious, and you can use different fillings. I'm going to be using bamboo shoots, prawns, I've got here pork loin, and some Chinese mushrooms for a bit of a bite. First thing you need is a good knob of ginger. I like to just peel it with a teaspoon, and then we're just going to grate it. So we just want a tablespoon, just enough to impart a gingery mild heat. Next, I've got here one large spring onion. So first we just slice along the spring onion in lengthways, and then we're just going to finely chop it. Just make sure they're all the same size so you get a uniform bite. Next, I've got here some bamboo shoots. Now these are just tinned bamboo shoots, which I've just drained and rinsed under cold running water. And just slice them into julienne first, and then just finely dice. Next, I've got here some Chinese mushrooms, and these were dried Chinese mushrooms, and I soaked them in boiling water for about 20 minutes. Okay, so just slice around the stalk, and I love Chinese mushrooms. They've got this lovely earthy flavor, and of course they also add a different kind of texture in the dumpling. So just finely dice, and again, you want them all to be the same size. Next, I've got here 100 grams of Madagascan tiger prawns. They've already been deveined, and I want to slice them into quite chunky, sort of 1 centimeter slices. Now, prawns cook much quicker than minced pork, and therefore I'm cutting them into slightly bigger pieces than what I would do with a pork, so that they'll cook in the same time, because I don't want the prawns to be rubbery. So I've got one piece of pork loin. It's about 150 grams, and you can see lean meat here with a little bit of fat just there. The skin has been taken off. Now, traditionally for siu mai, many chefs would use the pork shoulder, which will give you a good bite, or you could also use pork belly, but I find that pork belly can sometimes be a little bit too rich. But it's up to you. This is a slightly healthier version. So just slice the pork first into nice thin slices. and then just turn it on its side and then just slice through. Now to help you, you could also use a Chinese cleaver, which I love to use as well. So using a cleaver, just run it through the pork. So that's it, that's what I'm looking for. And then just give that a good mix because of course the fat needs to be evenly distributed. Okay, so all the ingredients are prepped, it's time to put them together. So just get yourself a nice deep bowl and then just place the minced up pieces of the pork. We've got the tiger prawns, Chinese mushrooms, bamboo shoots, and the spring onion. And lastly, don't forget the ginger. Put all that in. This is the best tool that you're gonna need next. It's your hand. So just mix everything together, and if you can see, I'm squeezing the mixture, using my knuckles there, just in between my fingers, I'm squeezing out the mixture. So your hand acts like a mincer, just bringing all those ingredients together. Perfect. So now for the seasoning ingredients. I want a tablespoon of Kum Kee's premium light soy sauce, and this is going to impart a lovely rounded note. Not too much, I don't want the mixture too wet. And I want 1 teaspoon of Kum Kee's pure sesame oil, and this is going to add a lovely aroma, lovely subtle nuttiness. Next, I want a tablespoon of Shaoxing rice wine, or you could use dry sherry, and it just helps to bring out the sweetness of meat or fish. Perfect, that's looking really good. And you can see it's starting to look a little bit sticky, which is what we want. Now, to help bind all the flavors of those ingredients together, 2 teaspoons of corn flour. The corn flour will help to bind all the flavors of those ingredients together and also to help bind the filling to the dumpling wrapper. Lastly, a small pinch of ground white pepper for a mild kick and a small pinch of sea salt. Okay, perfect. Now, just throw the mixture in the bowl. It's going to bind all those ingredients together. Now you can let this mixture just sit in the fridge, chilled for half an hour just to let that set. Now it's time to fill. And I've got here some wonton wrappers. Now these are square and they're made of egg. Just put it on the palm of your hand, arm yourself with a teaspoon, and then just take a bit of the filling and just put it in the middle. And with your thumb and second finger, make an OK sign and just drop the filling in the center like that, and just to hug it. And make sure you've got a flat bottom to your siumai. And at the moment you can see it looks like a flower. Just open up the wrapper like so. Take your teaspoon, and if it's not really full, you do want it quite tightly packed. Just make sure it's really secure, and you want to make sure you pat down the top of the dumpling really well with a teaspoon. And with the excess wrapper, just take a pair of scissors and just cut around to make your siumai. So there's one. So just keep going. 2 heaped teaspoons in the center. Just let that drop into your thumb and your second finger. Nip it at the waist, and then make sure that's really tightly packed. With a pair of scissors, just slice around the edges, making sure that you really nip it in the waist. If you do have any gatherings like this on the side, just dip your finger in a little bit of water and then just help to seal the dumpling. Okay, so that's all my siumai dumplings done. And we're just going to slice 10 slices of carrot, about less than half a centimeter thick, 9, 10. These are going to be the base for the siumai. The siumai is going to sit on top of it, and we're going to steam that in the steamer. You could also use greaseproof paper or non-stick paper on the bottom. They'll work just as well, but I was taught this by a Chinese dim sum chef and I just love it. So I've got here a bamboo steamer just set on a stainless steel steamer rack, and it's half filled with water. Just place the siumai on the carrot like that. Just make sure there's plenty of space between them so they don't crowd each other. So that's it, all the siumai are in the bamboo steamer. So just pop the lid on, and we're going to steam this on a medium to high heat for 10 to 12 minutes. So while the siumai is steaming, I'm going to show you a very quick and delicious dumpling sauce. So I've got here Kum Kee's premium light soy sauce, Kum Kee's pure sesame oil, and Kum Kee seasoned rice vinegar. Now I'm going to combine 2 tablespoons of each, equal quantities, and together they're going to impart a really umami, rich and tangy, nutty flavour. And then just add in finely chopped coriander stems and also 1 chopped chili. Look at that, a beautiful dumpling dipping sauce. So in the other sauce dish, I'm going to add in Kum Kee's Chu Chow chili oil. Now I love this chili oil. It really gives a fiery pop. So after 10 minutes, we can check on the siumai dumplings. Look at them. Wow, golden and beautiful. You could see the pink of the prawns, so you know that it's cooked. But just to be sure, just take a skewer, poke it into the largest dumpling, and then if it comes out clean with no resistance, then you know it's cooked. And if the largest one is cooked, you know all of them will be. Perfect, it's time to serve. So just be very careful when you take it off the heat. It's going to be very hot, and then gently lift it onto a heat-proof mat. And that's it, that's my pork and prawn bamboo shoot siumai. Enjoy.